Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to Top Tier Talk. We are now on episode 3 of Matchweek 16, but we'll be covering Matchweek 17 as well due to the midweek fixture. But please welcome our new podcaster, Nick.
Hi, I'm Nick. I'm a Chelsea fan.
Welcome, Nick. Right, so we'll be basically covering, start of all, the Chelsea 1, Aston Villa 1 game of Matchweek 16. So obviously from us, from a point of view from this match week onwards, I think for Chelsea it's gone quite downhill. Against Villa, it's a tough opponent again because they're really pushing for the top table of the Premier League at the moment because the likes of Grealish, everyone on their team is absolutely performing outstandingly. And then Chelsea at the moment aren't really doing bits like their individual talent, it's quality at the end of the day, but when they try and gel together as a team, nothing's really gelling. And you can really see that from like match week 16 onwards. Like, obviously, I know it's been 2 games, but for me, it's a 1-1 draw. I guess it's lucky for Chelsea because Villa are really pushing for it nowadays. But I guess for Chelsea, they really need to start like stepping it up a little bit more, and hopefully something changes in their dressing room. Shavez, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm not going to spend too long on this one, but Chelsea in that game, who scored for Chelsea? Was it Giroud?
Yep.
Yeah, I think you've got a problem where like Lamps wants to play a certain way, which doesn't involve you like crossing the ball as much. But right now, your only solution is that like they're the ones that are firing. Werner, I don't want to, but I know people blame Werner a lot, and I personally do not think Werner is the player that he is that you paid for. But he's not really. He's the type of player that Lampard wants to play, but he's not playing how he should. And that's why, for example, now we're going to go on to your next game as well, where Werner plays and it doesn't work out. I just feel a bit bad for Lampard with the players he has right now. And I think I would blame Werner a lot for your problems right now. I know it's a bit unfair, like to blame one player, but he is causing a big problem in your team.
Yeah, I guess it's a tough pill to swallow for Frankie because, he's just bought a 45 million striker. Hopefully he's trying to like get him an impact into the Prem, and he's not really made it a massive difference at the moment in time. But Amir, what do you think about that, mate?
I completely disagree with Shavez on the whole Werner thing. I don't think he is the problem. He's been playing on the left the last few games. He's not a left winger. It doesn't work. The fact that he was actually played striker against City, which we'll come on to, was a positive. That's the one thing Frank got right. But you're right, Giroud was good in that game, clinical. If you're doing crosses into the box, it's got to be Giroud in there. But we were lucky that John McGinn strike as well. I think we got lucky in that game.
Yeah, that's exactly it. As I said, like the 1-1 draw for Chelsea, I guess, is both a negative and a positive because Villa could have very easily snuck away with a win in that game. But Nick, our new Chelsea fan, what do you think about it, mate?
I do disagree with Shavez on that one as well because I don't think Werner's a problem at all. I think that the whole system's wrong. I think Frank's got it wrong at the moment. I think all it is the formation and the strategy. Like it's performances we should be winning. It's players gelling. It's not, we've got the individual players, but it's just gelling as a team. It's not gonna happen overnight. But I just think players like Havertz, I think he comes in, he's young, he's got a lot of potential, and people expect to see his world-class performances straight away. Like Werner as well is a whole different league. Like he obviously come out and said about being shoved about by the Premier League defence. So I just think that Frank needs to switch it up. Maybe try a formation like how when we won the league back the other year, Conte played the 5 at the back. Maybe switch it to that and try that, and maybe try something different. There's no plan B once we set out that formation. There's no switching, there's no change, and there's no backup plan.
Yeah.
But it's just bit sort of touch and go at the moment.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. From both you and Amir, both saying how you just need like a little bit of a formation change up front, maybe even, as you said, Nick, at the back for 5 at the back, just stick Conte there somewhere. It does definitely need a change for Chelsea. But Nick and Dan, just a little quick one for you. What do you think about both the Chelsea and Aston Villa?
Yeah, obviously, like it seems like every week we come on here and we say Villa seems to be performing well, like a good point for them. But I agree with what Nick was saying. Like it seems like Frank doesn't really have a backup plan. Obviously, he just knows how to play one way. But it also is players gelling. Like, you've got to look at other teams that have had good managers. The first year has never been, amazingly successful. It does take a bit of time for players to gel. So I'm just happy to see.
That's exactly it. Dan, to finish it off, mate, what do you think?
As Nick just said, Guru's up for Villa, but it's becoming a common theme now. For Chelsea on their foot, it's a combination of injuries. I partly think the manager and then the players. Just that's why it's not clicking for them. To be up there and win leagues, you've got to have everything go your way, and it's just not happening for them.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Rough start for Chelsea in Matchweek 16. But moving on to the next game, we've got my team itself, Arsenal 1, Brighton 0. It's a good little 1-0, I guess. It was a bit weird, that game, to be fair. For me, like, it was a lucky goal at the end of the day. Like, we got one goal, and it was kind of like towards the end of that Brighton game, what I was saying, like, we were just keeping it in the corner. It was like we were just like absolutely praying that we could try and get a win against Brighton. I just didn't like that type of football. Like, I think it was from the 75th minute onwards, we were just trying to like hold it and just make sure we're trying to get stupid petty fouls and just hoping that we can just keep up the pitch, stuff like that. Like against Brighton, like, don't get me wrong, Brighton are a great team, but for the likes of Arsenal, we should be like challenging for maybe 2 or 3 goals. I mean, in a day, like 3 points to 3 points, 1-0 win, fantastic for the Arsenal. But I don't know, for the last 20 minutes of that game, we could have done better, I think. But then moving on to Matchweek 17, which we'll get onto, is massive improvement. But any of you boys, Shavez, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I'm not going to say much about that game. Was it a Lacazette goal? I think the only real positive is Lacazette's firing for you when Aubameyang isn't, so you can use him more.
Yeah,
there's not much to say about that game.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. Lackey's on form at the moment. He's absolutely banging them in. Amir, what do you think?
Same. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I quite like Emil Smith-Rowe. I think he's been really good.
Yeah.
Just new energy into the team. I think he's done well. The youth as well. Saka, Tierney. I think that's what's keeping you guys going in this good form.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Nick, anything to say about it?
Yeah, I think with teams like Brighton, Burnley, sort of like bottom half teams, I think if you're a top team and you're looking for them 3 points, I think it's weird scenarios this season with no fans, a lot of players missing due to the virus. I think that even if you end up scraping them kind of games by 1-0 or maybe just by the 1 goal, 2-1, whatever, I think you can take positives from certain games being the situation. So I think it's still. I mean, back the other week you were worse off than what you were. So I think if you start to hit a run of form now, and keep the results coming, you'll be up there again.
That's exactly hopefully we keep this run of form going. I think it's sparked from Chelsea. Love it, but
well,
I guess that's
started off well, but it's just typical. As I said, everyone's beating everyone. It's like you look at Villa beating Liverpool 7-2. You look at all like United losing 6-1 to Tottenham, and now they dropped off a bit, and now they're coming up again. So it's all like all big teams have a blip, and I think that when they start to find their form, doesn't matter what kind of time of the season it is, they once they start to pick up points, they sort of go on a run of form, and that's it. So it's a shaky. Everyone's beating everyone. It is a shaky season.
Yeah. I completely agree. Nick, Dan, anything to say about the Arsenal game?
Yeah, just that Saka's been like the stand-up player, obviously, the last couple of games, even against Chelsea and Brighton, like you said, even though it was 1-0, Saka still seems to be that like really, really stand-out, good youngster. So but still good 3 points for Arsenal. Like Nick was saying, doesn't matter whether you scrape a 1-0, 2-1. This season has been strange, so to pick up 3 points is always really important.
That's exactly it. Yeah, I do agree. 3 points is 3 points, but I guess what you say. Yeah, scraping a 1-0 win, I guess we'll have to do. Dan, what do you think? Anything to add?
Not particularly anything about the game. It was a dire game of football.
Yeah, it was.
But I think you said last week, or it was in a discussion that we've had outside of the podcast, you said that about playing youth players, they're a lot more willing to play. And as you mentioned, Saka and Smith-Rowe are actually filling the gaps that need to be filled and actually pushing on and pushing you towards result.
Yeah, no, completely agree. But yeah, nothing to add except the youngsters are proper making their breakthrough now. It's basically showing Willie and David Luiz they're like, look, we're here, we're ready to like take over. Basically, if you don't get a move on, we're here to.
Chelsea turf offs. Chelsea turf offs.
Chelsea, yeah, look, waffle from a Chelsea fan. Look, a new man. He thinks
It's the truth.
Chelsea. Gimps.
It's true. They've had all their success at us, so I suppose they just use that as their care home.
Charitable.
Yeah, you still lost to us. So I guess the better team wins, eh?
Yeah, well, we're still above you currently now. So, and we're still in the Champions League as it stands. So, you know, we still got that to stand. We got Atletico in the last 16. So
good luck with that. You're
I'm not enjoying that one.
it doesn't matter. You're Thursday football, so I'd rather be in the Champions League.
Your friends, yeah.
And still above you.
Yeah, well, you're going to lose about 8-0 against Atletico anyway. Chelsea bad. Anyway.
Okay.
Moving on to the Man United Wolves game. Man United 1, Wolves 0. Chavez, anything to add before I do?
Yeah, when you're like in the position that we are, you know, challenging for the title, then winning games like that 1-0 is always a good thing. Last year we drew 0-0 to Wolves. It was like Bruno's debut, and this is like the difference this year. We're actually finding ways to win.
Yeah.
Eric Bailly was incredible. If he stays fit this season, then who knows what's going to happen with that man. Yeah, he's 1-0. It was a very lucky 1-0, but when you're in the position that we are, it's better. I know, like, you complained about your 1-0, but that's because you're in the bottom half of the table.
Yeah,
with us, a 1-0 for us is like a championship winning goal, or at least a step towards that. So yeah, it was good.
Come on,
Yeah,
it was a bit too jammy though, wasn't it?
Yeah, of course, but you saw it with Liverpool last season, where they at home they used to always just find a way. You have to have that mentality. You don't always have to play well.
Well, that's what I was saying about this kind of season. Like, whether it's a last minute goal or however you get the win, a win's a win this season under the current.
Yeah, I
3
think
points,
people
3
forget
points.
about the performance. Yeah.
Doesn't matter what kind of jammy FIFA bollocks goal you get. 3 points is 3
Which
points.
is what it was. Yeah.
So lucky.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But yeah, for me, nothing to add about the United game. Yeah, it's plain and simple. As you said, like a 1-0 win against Wolves. Wolves are a tough team. You know, like a mid kind of like 6th or 7th tier table team. So they're quite hard to beat. You know, you're literally a Portugal national team playing against you. But
they're actually decent though, Wolves. I've always rated them, being that I thought that they'd go into that game and more than anything beat United. Like I didn't. I mean, obviously Rashford got the goal right at the end, but you look at Wolves' side, and you look at how Nuno's got them playing.
Yeah,
and you'd expect them to just beat United, maybe 2-1 or even them get the late goal.
Yeah. So you're a closet Wolves fan there, Nick?
No, not at all. I'm just stating facts.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, Amir, anything to add to the United game?
Yeah, it was 1-0. I guess Shavez is right. Got to win these games if you want to challenge for the league. I think Eric Bailly's been good since he's back, but I don't know how long he can sustain without getting injured again. Quite injury prone, and yeah, that's it really. It's 1-0.
1-0 to 1-0. Yeah, three points. Yeah. Nick, anything for your rivals?
Not much to say. The only thing I'll say, I do feel bad for Wolves, obviously. With the squad they have, they can't really rotate, you know, with the massive fixture weeks we've got building up. Whereas Man United obviously have a bit of a better squad. But it's, like we were saying, 1-0 this season is 1-0. Doesn't matter how you do it.
That's exactly it. Yeah, I think we're kind of gauging that all these 1-0 wins are kind of just like, I'll accept it and move on.
Yeah.
Exactly that, yeah. Dan, anything to add to that Man United score?
Not even that you were saying the 1-0s. I think it's a matter of teams not wanting to push too hard.
Fair enough.
It's a matter of Wolves' squad not being big enough.
Yeah, who knows? Wolves might be like a challenging kind of Europa League team this year again. But this year's looking very good because I remember when we beat West Brom 4-0 when we were looking at the table.
Arsenal, eh?
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, when I was looking at the table when we were, I know it's a bad time, but when we were 11th, and just looking at the table between 11th and 4th, there's only like 6 points between us. Do you know what I mean? So it's actually quite tight between the bottom half and the top half, actually. But then who knows what will happen? But yeah, moving on to that last match. I know probably none of you are a Liverpool fan, but I guess we'll discuss it because it's quite a good result. So Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0. At the end of the day, no, everyone thought Newcastle kind of get beat for that game, because Liverpool's on top form again, and Liverpool's Liverpool at the moment. They've got Salah, they've got Mane, they got all their players back except Van Dijk. So I mean, even Thiago came off the bench, and I rate him highly. I think he's a quality midfielder, but Newcastle sustained it and managed to get a 0-0 draw out of it. So do you know what? Fair play to them. They snatched a point off the champions, and fair play. There's nothing really else to add to that except fair play to Newcastle, and Liverpool could have ran away with it, but they didn't. But yeah, Amir, what do you think to that?
Same again, 0-0. I think Newcastle came out the better out of that one. Get the point towards survival, but I think Liverpool should be beating Newcastle. It could just be one of them games, Just I think they had like 17 shots.
Yeah.
Just one of them games just didn't go in.
That's exactly. Yeah. Nick, Milam?
Oh man. Yeah. I think yeah. Again, it just proves how the season has been. I think it's just a typical ball draw. As you were saying, 17 shots. You look at the stats. It's like playing a FIFA game. You can have all the shots and all the possession, but it's about putting your chances to bed in it. So
yeah,
I think that it just proves to show how this season has been with this current situation, and it's just one of them games where Liverpool, they're like always on the front foot. Newcastle love sitting back against big teams like that, and they'll try and hit you on the counter.
Mm-hmm.
And Liverpool just couldn't break them down. So it was just a typical ball draw, as I said. So yeah,
that's exactly it. Yeah, no, nothing to complain about, I guess. But Nick and Dan, to finish it off, Nick.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of teams that are doing that to Liverpool this season, like frustrating them. And I noticed that sort of the year after we won the league, that's how everyone sort of set up to play against us, just 10 men behind the ball and trying to hit them on the counter. And I think that's what people are starting to do to Liverpool, obviously working out how they play. But yeah, just like Mam said, it was 0-0 draw, pretty boring game. But they didn't really take their chances, so yeah.
That's exactly it. Dan? Watford fan, Dan?
I think obviously Liverpool, you should expect to create that many chances in a game. But I think all of the credit for the 0-0 has to go to Newcastle and especially Darlow. I think he was a goal kicker in that game. The amount of saves that he made, commanded the box, and even 2 or 3 outstanding one-on-one stops. If they go away, it's 2 or 3 nil downs. You're not going back from that.
Yeah.
I think should go to Newcastle getting a result like that.
Yeah, and I completely agree. That Newcastle keeper did very, very well to stop that. Well, as you said, multiple one-on-ones. But yeah, I think that covers match week 16. Yeah, I am right. Match week 16. But yeah, moving on to match week 17, as it's that weekend league basically. I don't know where Shavez has gone, but we'll continue anyway. Man United 2, Aston Villa 1. But I'll start. What a game that was, in my opinion. I don't know if anyone else watched it, but what a game it was.
Yeah,
Grealish. Yeah, Grealish on form. Man United team on form. Nothing really can fault again. It's like it's a hard loss for Aston Villa to take, because when you look at it in the table, they were having a few games in hand. They could have caught up and maybe hit the top of the table, but that loss has really knocked them down a bit. But other than that, look, great game from what I saw. Bruno on form, Rashford on form, Martial on form. Everything about that Man United team as well just gelled, and unfortunately, to Aston Villa, Man United ran away with it. But yeah, Amir?
Yeah, I watched this game as well. I think what this shows is how much of a good team Aston Villa are. Like, I don't think they were that good. It makes our draw last match week not look as bad as it was.
Yeah.
They're actually so good. They could have got a draw at the end. I think Bailly's block was insane. I don't know if any of you guys saw that, but
I didn't see it, no.
Got to give credit to United again, as much as you don't want to see a classic penalty, Bruno.
Yeah.
I think they're doing well. I think they are title contenders. I don't know how long they're going to sustain it for. Chavez here, we can ask him after, but I don't know how long they can sustain this run for. I think they'll get a blip soon, and I think it'll be City and Liverpool to go for the title.
You're talking about Man United.
Yeah, of course we are. Yeah, welcome back, Shavez.
Yeah, welcome.
Don't know where
welcome
you.
back, Shavez.
Yeah,
I want to hear
came.
your take on this.
Yeah.
Oh, is it you talking about United Villa?
United Villa, yeah, 2-1.
Yeah.
Oh, what a game! It was actually, from a neutral point of view, I don't know if you watched it. It was a really good game. Back to end
Yeah,
to end.
I was saying it. Yeah.
Just as an outside fan, yeah, it's like a typical end-to-end game, isn't it?
And another game last year we drew, and now we won this year. So like, if you want to compare, again, it just shows we're on the right direction.
Mm.
Yeah, one step closer to the title.
Do you think you'll win it?
No, I think Man City will win the league this year.
Blimey, eh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where do you reckon
You'll
Chelsea
see
will
my
finish?
predictions. I said fourth, but
Who knows from now on?
Listen, we can say the same with Arsenal. Like, personally, if I was in your shoes, I'd look at your current situation now, being that you're still behind us. All right, like you look at our team at the start and you think we're more than title contenders. You know, we'll be up there, at least top 2, 3 with City and Liverpool. But started off well. But as I said, every big team has a blip, and I think that's just a weird season, isn't it? Like you look at the top 6, Southampton are up there, Villa.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, no, I guess you're right with Arsenal, but we're coming back. Don't worry, we'll be right
mind
behind you soon.
You was fighting like relegation. Well, you weren't fighting relegation the other week. But you know, people were saying about if the form continued that you'd be down there. But as like credit where it's due, you know, you've picked yourselves up and you've got the results we needed. But
don't need to overdo it. Like they're only 11th. Like I think everyone needs to
take
chill
a pat
out.
on the back. No, watch.
All right, well, watch Chelsea as well when we hit a run.
Yeah,
well,
yeah. We'll get to Chelsea.
But if you wanted my take on United Villa, the current, instead of going off track, I think if you're a United fan like Shavez, I think all you need for your team is players like Bruno, Rashford on form, and then you'll be good as gold. I think that's what's needed. And when you've got them type of players on the form, they're so good going forward that they're just, you know, they can be unstoppable at times. So I think, but Villa, you know, players like Grealish, he's on the rise, isn't he? So they're players you've got to watch out for. But they're lucky to get that win. Yet again, they're another team picking themselves up and getting the results where they can.
Jammy.
Yeah, jammy. But
as we said,
is what it is for this season, isn't it? But
yeah,
as we said, 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, win's a win. Snatch it if you want, but 3 points is 3 points. But Radio, your rivals, anything to add to it?
Yeah, from Villa's point of view, I don't think they need to be too distraught about it because they still played well, and that's like the important thing for them. They've still been getting results previously, but Man United, obviously, you know, as much as it hurts to say, they're actually doing quite well.
Skip the question.
It's not what you want to say, but yeah, doing well.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, I guess your rival fan said that you guys could actually win the Prem this year, so I guess that's something. But the Championship man himself, Daniel Brand, what do you have to add to that Man United Aston Villa score?
I personally, in talks of the game, I don't think that was a penalty.
Ooh.
Give it to I, to be fair, as well.
Bit questionable. I mean, whether you want to look into much of the clip of Pogba supposedly telling Luke Shaw to dive about 10 minutes before we got the penalty.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, as much as everyone hates to see it, you've got to do what you've got to do, and everyone does it. But yeah, credit to Villa, and as Shavez said, it's a game they grinded out and a result they grinded out, something they didn't do last year. And if you're looking up, as Shavez thinks they're going to win the title, if you're going to want to do that, you're going to need to grind results out.
Yeah.
And not settle for draws here and there. They're not good enough if you want to be up there.
Yeah, completely agree. But actually going on from that penalty kind of thing, if anyone thought it was or wasn't, what do you guys think about diving? Do you reckon it should be actually enforced that people get more cards now, should get fined for it, or do you reckon, what do you think should be the case about diving?
Personally, I think that
because it seems to be like a common occurrence now, doesn't it? It seems to be like everyone else keeps diving, and everyone's just like, well, if you're seeing everyone else diving, everything's kind of getting like rewarded for diving, then I'm going to keep doing it as well. So, what do you guys think?
Was that a dive from Pogba? Like he actually did make. I know he made the contact himself with his left foot.
Exactly.
Then it's like 50-50. Then who do you ban and who do you not?
No, you don't ban, but then at the end of the day, if it's an accident, it's an accident. It's an accident. But the ref's got to watch that.
Though.
It's looking at who's more at fault, isn't it? It's looking at who's committed to foul more. But it's one of them things like you look back to the olden, I wouldn't say the olden days, but let's say like
10 years ago.
1970s football. You watch all the old like Premier League years. You see like a player go down that they wouldn't like roll about like now. They'd just go down and get back up kind of thing and just get on with it. But now it's just all about money. It's all about, it's just all about VAR now, and it's like, it's debatable whether it's ruining football, but it matters. It matters at crucial stages, but there's some decisions I look at and I think that's well wrong. They've got that one wrong.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like you see some fouls nowadays where they'll get like kicked in the shin or something like that, and they'll go down like they've just been shot in the chest, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't know if the players get told it because it happens quite frequently now in the Prem. But as you said, like maybe 10, 20 years ago, as you say, people get kicked in the shin or anything like that. They'll go down, but then they'll get straight back up. So what's changed at the end of the day?
I think just money and cameras, really. It's just all to do with sponsorships, and I think they're trying to make more of the VAR system with going down and stuff like that, because otherwise they wouldn't do it. It's all rolling about, and like as I said, like you go back 20, 30 years ago, why can't the players nowadays just go down? If they're really badly injured, then fair enough, you stay on the ground. But if it's not that bad, you get back on and get on with it. It's football. Like it's a contact sport.
And now moving on to the Arsenal 4, West Brom 0. What a game. What a game. Why are you signed for? Because you just know this Arsenal team that played West Brom were amazing, and you know it. And I don't know why you're trying to side, because Emil Smith-Rowe, Saka.
It's West Brom. It's
West Brom, yeah, whatever. But
you're expected to win it.
Yeah, well, 4-0. What a performance from Tierney. Did you see him? Absolute baller in that snow. What an he's the best left back in the league.
No way. Chilwell's still better than him.
Deluded.
Chelsea delusion coming out.
Chilwell's better. Andy Robertson's
to
better.
Every single viewer.
Robertson's better. Your fucking every single viewer is going to be looking at you and thinking, "What a gimp!"
They won't. They'll agree. They'll agree because Tierney is so much better than Chilwell, and you know it.
So much better.
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
Let's do this.
Go on.
No, he is. Let's do this as a debate. Let's do it as a poll. Everyone now go in the comments and put who's better, Chilwell or Tierney.
And we'll know for a fact they'll put Tierney because he is so much better than that gel boy. It's like fucking Simon Cooper out of in between us.
So much better than fucking Tierney. So much better.
So the Arsenal.
Either way, look, be quiet. Let me look. Anyway, what a game today. Pablo Mari, he is a quality centre back. Leno, as per usual, what a beast keeper. He's better than Mendy.
Mendy's clear.
Oh, here we go. But to be fair, do you know what? For some reason, Aubameyang, he's fallen off a little bit, isn't he? He needs to find that like golden goal to kind of like Wayne Rooney back in the day. He had to find that goal to kind of like kick back his like goal scoring record again, because like I said, it's quality at the moment. I would drop him for anything. He's been amazing around the youngsters like Saka, amazing as per usual. Emil Smith-Rowe bossing that number 10 role. Xhaka had a quality game, and Ceballos was quality as well. There was a tackle in that game that I just don't understand. Like you can't 2-foot anyone. Well, it wasn't even a 2-foot. He literally got the ball with 1 foot, and the ref was like yellow card. I was like, this game's going to pot.
Are you going to let anyone else speak?
Sorry, Nick. I was just explaining my team that's better than Chelsea. Sorry, didn't we beat 3-1, wasn't it? Can I just...
Much better. Chelsea.
That was a different game.
We're still above you. We're still above
you. Waffle. Yeah, top waffle. Go on. So what do you want to say?
Me? My take? Yeah, no. As I said earlier, back the other week, everyone thought like your kind of formula is on. That if it carried on, you'd be fighting relegation. As much as it sounds weird, it was the truth. But you've picked yourself up, fair enough. I mean, it's expected against West Brom, innit, really, even though like 4-0 is a good result, especially in the current situation, as I was saying. But yeah, that 4-0, as you said about Aubameyang as well, I think Lacazette's overtaking him at the moment, isn't he? With like form-wise, he can't like break his duck, can he, Aubameyang? So I think you have got a lot of up-and-coming young talent as well. I do like Saka. I think he should 100% be in
clear of Greenwood.
England's. England. So that's another debate you and Chavez
Jesus
can have
Christ.
later. But
You're
I
11th
definitely
or
think
something.
Saka should be a starter for England, 100%.
Thanks for that news, Jeff. Now I'm joking. That. Thanks very much, Nick.
Back to the
Amir?
studio, Jeff.
Yeah.
Is it me?
Back to what do you think about that game? 4-0.
It's a good result for Arsenal, isn't it? I think they're getting their confidence back. West Brom are on a bad team. Like you say, Nick said should beat West Brom. West Brom drew to us. They drew to City,
Exactly.
and
Well,
they
it
drew
just
to
goes to show, doesn't it, that Arsenal are a better
Liverpool.
team.
You got to be a bit unbiased, but like they did do well. I think it's the youngsters again. We mentioned it. The Emil Smith. That second goal was crazy.
Yeah.
See the passing. It was like
Wenger ball.
All right, Amir, don't butter it up too much.
Yeah,
West
that's
Brom,
not butting
mate.
it up. You got to give credit when it's
I'm
due.
not liking
Exactly.
this.
Thank
There's
you
a
very
lot
much,
of-
Amir. That is a top quality analysis of that Arsenal game. Unlike your counterpart, Nick, here. Radio, what do you think about the Arsenal 4-0 game?
Bland, isn't it?
Yeah, just like you said, good result for Arsenal. Just back to like a sort of quick passing football that just cut West Brom apart. But West Brom also played, completely different to the way they set up against Liverpool at Anfield to get a draw. It just looks so open, misplacing loads of passes. But yeah, there's not much you can say about that game.
Yeah, fair enough. Chavez?
Who was captain of that game in the Arsenal team? Or Arsenal West Brom? I don't know who it was. Was it? Okay, so they should make Tierney the captain now. I think it's time
Yeah,
for Tierney to be
I
captain.
completely agree.
That's all I can add to that game. You're 11th in the league. I don't think we should talk about you like you're doing anything more than that. So we'll just keep it at that.
Okay.
Good job. You should be beating West Brom.
Yeah,
You're Arsenal.
okay.
With the
Just
money
quick
that's
clap.
happened to your club.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Daniel?
Thanks.
It should be a game. It should be a game that you're winning. But can we just appreciate that we praised Big Sam last week, and he's conceded like 9 goals in 2 games after we praised him after the Liverpool
worry.
game. So I don't
His
think
job
we've
was
really
to stop
done
Liverpool. That's it.
justice. One job.
He's done it.
The rest of the season's a write-off to stop Liverpool. But no, West Brom are in some serious trouble.
Oh, yeah, but whenever Sam Allardyce is manager, you're not getting relegated. So it's West
That's
Brom
the
It
safe.
should be the
thing
first
is,
time.
Unless he leaves. He'll probably leave before.
Yeah.
He'll probably leave before.
That's what I was thinking. It's always Allardyce is typically a manager that comes and keeps bottom teams up, innit? So I thought,
Come
being
and
that
manage
he's
Chelsea.
taken over- Huh?
Come manage Chelsea.
Shut
You
up.
mean you're closer to the bottom than us?
Yeah, but we're on good form now. So
Yeah, but you ain't. So you'll drop back down, and we'll be doing another episode, and you'll be like, "Oh, I don't want to talk about Arsenal. There's no point. We're too bad." But as I was saying before you interrupted,
Where are we?
Still at Arsenal.
Okay.
I think, Allardyce taking over. 4-0 is good against his kind of side because he just typically always sits back and he's just, it's always hard to break down and hard to get the opportunity. But to score 4, I think it's good going. Being that, but you've got that going forward. You've got a lot of pace going forward, a lot of people creating chances. So yeah, I think it's a good win, isn't it?
It's a good win, yeah. Not too bad.
Yep.
But moving on to the last game of Matchweek 17 to end it off. Man City 3 and Chelsea 1. I'll lead that with Nick Radio as he's the City winning fan. Nick, what do you think about that?
Yeah, like obviously, a lot of people saying Chelsea not on form, but I think I noticed about yesterday about us is we were clinical. Not how we usually play, not like dominating possession or anything, but it seems like every chance we got we took. So I think standout performers were probably like Cancelo, Gundogan, and even Stones and Diaz, as they've been doing quite well. Obviously, Stevens made that like error, just didn't know the pass back rule, starts picking up the ball.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere.
Donkey. Yeah.
But yeah, obviously Chelsea weren't quite at it, but good 3-1 away win.
Yeah, no, completely agree. I've said this ever since he started playing for City. Cancelo's a quality player. I love that boy. Like his attacking and defense is just unmatched. He is absolutely outstanding. Whether he plays on the left or right, because I know he gets fluctuated between both, but he is just quality. Well, we'll start off with the Chelsea fans as well. Amir, you start. What do you think?
Ooh. So Marlon did say the whole poor system thing. I think the only thing Lampard got right in this game was the actual team. I think Werner in his actual position was a relief. I know he didn't play well, but You can't put the blame on Werner. I think Lampard was poor, and then I don't know. I think I give Lampard till the end of the season. If he doesn't get top 4, I think he has to go. I think it's not. You can't spend 250 million and then not come in the top 4. I know you lot like he's a club legend, but you got to take that out of it. You cannot bring that into it at all.
So who would you replace him with?
That's another question. I wouldn't want Thomas Tuchel. I think, I don't know, Allegri maybe. I think the RB Leipzig coach is good.
Okay.
He knows Werner, German as well. Maybe he could be good, but I don't know. Whoever's available, then we'll talk about. But I think this is more than a blip. I think this is very bad form. Very bad. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. Something's going very wrong in that Chelsea dressing room. Something needs to be sorted out very quickly. Yeah.
Definitely.
Nick Milam, the Green Street deluded Chelsea fan.
Talk about deluded. Do you want to see your comments about Arsenal? Anyway, don't want to get started really, but I definitely agree with Amir. I think that it's just all going wrong, isn't it? I just don't think that tactics are. You know, you look at City's squad that you had. Was it 6 players out, Nick? 6 players.
Yeah, 5, 6 players. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you look at that and you think they got Stefan in goal, Stefan, whatever, Stefan, and he's picking up a bat. It's going to sound like Roy Keane here. International goalkeeper. Nah, but he passed the ball back and he's picking up a back pass, and you think that's the typical inexperience you got. So why ain't us as a team capitalising on that and having more chances on goal, more shots on goal, and causing him havoc? Like, he listened to the commentators yesterday, and I don't know how many times they said about when balls were delivered into the box. They said, "Oh, that's where you'd need Tammy. That's where you need Giroud." Because any little flick on any little direction towards goal, it's going to trouble him.
Yeah.
But I think that, I think Frank, you know, you've got all these players that come in, and we was at a better stage last season than what we are now with the signings we got. We had the transfer ban. The signings were warranted because of the ban, and it's just, you know, we got top 4 last season with that kind of overall youth squad, and you look at it now and you think,
what's gone wrong?
The thing is, we got the individual players. It's just like it's clicking as a team. It's not happening. It's like we've got them all, but it's like we need the right strategy. We need the right formation. I love Frank for what he's done for the club, and I think that he's just such a Chelsea legend. He's got to be one of my all-time, if not my all-time greats for Chelsea. And I think that, you know, the players that aren't performing, like Havertz, he's all flimsy. He's all like, he's like one of them inflatable car wash things that are standing outside. He's all like flimsy up in the air. You know, he's got no. There's no
versatility with him. He's just like
it's just one. It's just bland.
Yeah,
it's like really. So, but Werner as well. It was a relief seeing him playing central, because I don't know why Frank's played him out on the wing for like 5, 6, 7 games now, or whatever it is. It's just completely out of position. He don't play his best. And Havertz and Werner deserve to be dropped. You know, Callum Hudson-Odoi, he's got to start.
Yeah, I agree.
Ziyech instead of out on the wing, out on the right. As me and Nick was saying earlier, and Amir, out on the wing, defenders know how he plays. They know he's going to cut in on that left foot of his. He's not going to use his right. So he's read all the time. So if you play him central, like for Ajax, if he was playing Cam, he'd spread balls to either wing. Play him central, you know, because he's got that vision we need. And then central, we need someone like Tammy or Ollie playing for the service. But I don't really know what more to say, if I'm honest. I think I want to see, as Amir said, I want to see what Frank does to the end of the season.
Yeah.
See if we get top 4. We should do. I mean, we're title contenders at the start, but I'd want someone like Conte, and if it don't work out for Frank, because he's very disciplined. He changed the formation when we went on a bad run of form, and we went on to win the league. why don't Frank try that? You know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So let's say for example, Frank Lampard does does eventually get either sacked or does leave. Who would you want to replace him if that does happen?
Well, there's talk of Thomas Tuchel, isn't there, coming from PSG. I don't know if he's going to be the right one. I mean, time will tell. But obviously, Poch has just gone to PSG, so he's not available. I don't know. Maybe Allegri, like Amir was saying, but Conte's at Inter, isn't he? So he's not an option.
Yep.
Ancelotti's at Everton. It's all ex-managers that are going along the list, going along the pecking order of managers that could have actually still been with us now, and we just haven't given them the time. Like they've won us the league and the FA Cup the same season, and we they're getting sacked.
Yeah.
Conte had a bust up with Costa, and we lost both of them. Like I would still have Costa now. I think he's one of the best strikers getting in defenders' heads and clinically to this day. I think Costa is, and Conte could be someone. It's just his passion what I love as well. So I don't know. Time will tell, but we'll just have to see who we get.
Yeah, that was a long-winded conversation about Chelsea, but I guess the passion takes over, doesn't it?
It always is. It always is because it's the current situation, and it's just there's too much to talk about, and however much time you try and explain it, but it's just one thing after another that just needs bucking up.
Yeah. Hopefully something does change for Chelsea in the end. Hopefully, from next week we start. You guys start changing it up a bit. But anything to add, Shavez and Dan? Man City.
For me, I think it's slightly a bit of an overreaction because, for example, in that game you had 10 minutes at the start where it was really good, wasn't it? And then
first 15 was really well.
For that, your reward should have been a penalty, which the ref didn't give. I don't know if you remember. That was a pen.
That was a pen. Yeah.
And I don't know. Then after that, your players would just look leggy. I wouldn't blame Frank for all of this because, for example, we've been in a process. We're in a long-term process, aren't we? At the end of every game, if you can actually look at it and say, is there a direction? Can I imagine Frank lifting Champions League for my team with playing the right football how you want to? Then if the answer is yes, if you can actually imagine that, then you should keep him no matter what happens.
There is no
you're
system.
Going to have blips. We've had worse blips than you. We lost 6-1 to Spurs. I mean, things happen, but your players, Nick, you said gelling. Your players need to gel. I know you spent 200 mil. They also need to gel as well. Yeah, if I was in your position, I'd absolutely keep Frank in, even regardless of what happens this season. As long as you don't embarrass yourself. You don't come 15th or something.
Well, it's the same situation with you and Ollie, isn't it? It's like you
Ollie.
look at him. Their manager.
Yeah, Ollie, Ollie.
Ollie, yeah.
Yeah, down about, yeah.
Mine said that a bit too common, but
yeah.
no, it's true though. You look at United fans, and quite a few of them have said, "Oh, no, Ollie out," but a lot of them have said that they want to see how we, how time will tell, and it's worked out. So hopefully it's the same for Frank as well. Even you with Arteta as well. It's like you need that time, and gelling won't happen overnight.
Exactly.
But what you were saying, Shavez, about the first 10-15 minutes, I forgot to add because I was so ranting about our general form. I didn't add obviously the positives about how he was, but first 10-15 minutes played really well. Should have got a penalty, but he didn't claim for anything, did he? Werner just sort of got up and got on with it. I mean, I suppose that's a good thing, as in what I was saying about the diving and stuff.
Exactly.
But at the same time, would that not go to VAR? Rodri just sort of knew it was something, but
you'd think you have to go down like you broke your leg in order to actually try and claim a penalty for VAR to check it, wouldn't you? You'd feel like
you're Man United,
need to actually milk it.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of positives from that first 10-15 minutes, but we could have actually gone 1-0 up with the penalty if we got it awarded. So that was very positive, the start to the game, but then it just went downhill for them. Opened up
negatives
too easily. Foden.
Take the positives and move on. That's what I do.
Of course.
You can't when there's no system. Sorry to interrupt. There's no system.
You take the positives after the 10-15 minutes, and then you go 3-0 down just after half hour. But then, so then positives go out the window because you think you're just getting opened up. So take them positives and build on them. You don't, it just went to shit basically. We just got to open up. Nick will probably agree with me on this one as well. I think behind De Bruyne, I think Foden is technically your best player. 100% with what he creates.
I get what Pep was saying about not starting him every game, because there's times where he just looks like, he's rushing. He'll be in the final third and his legs are going at 100 miles an hour, but he's not actually thinking what he's doing. Kind of a bit like how Sterling first was when he joined. But that's just age. It comes with experience and age. The more he plays, the more he'll calm his game down. He'll become a mature player. But yeah, I'd definitely say in terms of our midfield, behind De Bruyne, you've got to start Foden.
That's exactly it.
Probably on.
Even Pep come out. Pep come out and said that. He said that he was doing an interview and he said behind De Bruyne, he said Foden is 100% my best player. He said who I've technically got, who causes all the chances in going forward. So I think that he's another one, like we were saying about Saka and players like that. Hudson-Odoi for us, they're all English talent on the rise. Grealish as well. That's looking good for our country, isn't they?
Exactly,
Euros
exactly that.
World Cup looking good, yeah.
Dan, anything to add to that Man City game to finish off?
Please don't.
I mean, everything's been said, really, isn't it? I mean, waffling.
What?
Yeah. 15 minutes.
His legs, listen.
What?
That's it.
The first 10-15 minutes, Chelsea started well. But yeah, a bit of class from Gundogan for the goal. And then, City are clinical like that. They can score 2, 3, 4 goals.
Exactly.
And then just switch off and go back down a gear and just cruise and not need to do that to teams.
Well,
every time they went forward.
Right, okay. Daniel,
your thing's weird. I shouldn't have told
in order to finish off this episode, what we got to do is 60 seconds with Dan. So I'm actually going to time it because I know you love waffling on. But Daniel, what do you think about Watford this weekend, buddy?
We lost to Swansea 2-1. We didn't play well at all. My hatred for Andre Gray grew 15-fold. It's just the team. We need new strikers. Defence has been alright.
It's a Premier League
Midfield
team.
wasn't great. It wasn't. We got relegated. Garner needs to go back to United. Ben Murray can go back to Brighton. Gray can go back to Luton for all I care. It just wasn't good enough.
Well,
good enough at all.
Fair enough. Well, hopefully we can see Watford come back into the Premier League because that'll be an exciting little prospect to come back. But we're going to leave it off there. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in to this week's podcast. Join us next week for episode 4 on Matchweek 18, where we'll be discussing next week's fixtures. But for now, take care.
Thank you.